welcome to another episode of All My Favorite People Are Dead.
Yay.
Totally dead, right? They're dead.
Yay.
We don't talk about live people.
Not coming back.
Right. Never. My phone.
Sorry?
I'm going to put my phone on silent because my phone is a jerk.
Because people love you.
Yeah.
They're trying to reach you.
They're trying to get me to do stuff. I don't want to do stuff right now. I'm still technically on my vacation. So go away. All right. So.
Down they go. Just don't make them dead.
No. I don't make people dead.
I just
talk about dead
Just
people.
checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So today I have a very, very, very special guest today. I finally found another person who's happy to talk about
Dead people.
Yes. All right. Suzanne Turrisi.
Yes, that's me.
Educator extraordinaire.
That's me.
A wonderful, amazing person.
Aww.
Who's currently got a hatchet in her forehead.
You know.
Or in the top of her head.
That would explain the headache.
Yeah. Little blood dripping down his
Just
sides.
a little.
Yeah.
Nothing a Band-Aid.
Did you make that?
But no, I actually buy these props.
Okay.
That's actually, I probably have one with a razor blade. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Rubber chicken stores are where I normally shop.
Same. Yeah.
You know, there you go. Kids love it.
Oh, absolutely. I love it.
Oh, there you go. Big kids.
But I'm like a toddler at heart.
I am like an overgrown teenager,
Yeah.
or so I've been told.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Let's have fun.
Okay, so talking about dead people,
That's fun.
what's
That's fun.
That's what we do.
Because they can't dispute.
And they cannot give us a hard time. I'm not a big... Well, I don't know. Do you believe in ghosts? Hauntings?
I believe there are some people that haven't found their eternity yet.
Okay, yeah.
I don't hang with Casper. I don't have, never seen it. But I think there are some people that are not at rest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
There's some pretty spooky places
There's
in the
some,
world.
yeah. I try to visit as many as possible.
Yeah,
I haven't had
same.
any encounters.
Yeah, my brother and I just went down to Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yeah, I saw. That looked cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I was like, Mom, come with us. And she's like, no, because I heard that ghosts like latch on to people and go home with them. I'm like, it's a prison. That's the whole. They can't do that. Right?
They can't leave.
Their souls are there forever. So
I wonder.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't want to take home any hitchhikers from that
Especially
environment.
like a murdering crazy person.
Yeah, no, that's against the HOA.
Speaking of murdering crazy people,
Yeah,
good segue.
there you go. Do we know any?
Well, actually, today we are going to be discussing favorite dead people who we're kind of glad are dead.
Icky.
Yeah,
Icky, questionable people of ill repute.
Since it's kind of Halloween, spooky season,
That's
which
right.
we're vibing. I mean, you were totally vibing in this house.
Yeah.
I'm envious. I really am.
Oh, you can move in. We have empty rooms.
Oh, good.
Just pop in. I'll leave you a key.
I don't know. Boy, you have cats. I have dogs.
That's fine. Well, they get along. My cats like dogs.
Oh, my dogs don't like cats.
They'll learn to like them.
So I love the everything you got here. It's all great. The Halloween village, everything.
Looks like Elvira and Vincent Price are my decorators. They come in. They sprinkle their magic.
I love it.
It's a little creepy.
So it's very appropriate for our discussion
There you
today.
go. There you go.
Dead,
evil,
female serial killers.
evil women.
Yeah. Evil women, exactly. So I'm going to talk about one of my favorite female killers who I'm glad is dead. And then you are going to discuss your favorite.
Yes.
And it just so happens that they're both named Lizzie.
Must be in the name.
I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of
Lizzies?
most of the Lizzies I know are nice. They're good.
Elizabeth, Lizzie, they're not. Yeah.
That
we know of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That we know. We don't. Do you really know?
No, I guess I don't.
I don't really.
Taken the time to.
Nobody really knows. I'm sure the Lizzies. Their neighbors said, "Oh, what a nice, quiet girl she was too." Because most crazy serial killers. You ever see the news? The neighbors are always like, "Oh, they were so nice. They were so polite. They waved and." Alrighty.
Oh, except this Lizzie, nobody had anything nice to say about her.
Oh, really? My Lizzie was pretty good until she kind of hacked up her parents.
Yeah,
but up to then, that was a deal breaker. But
all right. So we'll start with my Lizzie Halliday. Now I don't know if you've ever read the book Lady Killers. Fabulous read. We have it at my library.
I will be there.
Come and get it. It's awesome.
Okay.
She's in there. And she's been written about a couple other times, but I started to kind of dig through newspapers.com and find some juicy tidbits about her, and I'm like, Whoa. And then she ended up here in Dutchess County, where she committed her final murder, actually. So she kind of went from place to place.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
All right.
So without any further ado.
Traveling, all right.
Yeah, she's a traveling Lizzie.
There you go.
Okay, so she was born Elizabeth Margaret McNally in 1860. She was born in Ireland, County Antrim, and she was one of 10 kids. So, big family. That's the Irish for you. That's typical. Her family immigrated to New York when she was a small child. Her siblings remember that she caused a lot of fights. Like, she was just like... Always causing trouble, yeah. Mm-hmm. She was also very physical, like strong. Even though she was short, she was strong.
Tough lady.
She was, yeah, and she was very muscular. Everyone, like, commented that, this girl's got a lot of muscles for someone so young and a female in the 19th century. Like, how'd she get all those muscles? I don't know.
Steroids.
Beating up, yeah.
She was on the juice.
I don't. What did they use for steroids back then? I don't even know.
Opium. They used that for everything. That was a cure-all.
One neighbor hissed and said that Lizzie had a repulsive face. That she was no beauty.
That's cold.
That she had a large forehead and nose. And, I mean, no wonder she's going around killing people.
I'd be mad, too, if people described me as looking like a bulldog. Wow.
What the fuck? Shut up, I'll punch you in the face.
There you go. I'll show you.
Yeah, exactly. So, she wasn't educated by any real standards, but she was cunning. Like, she was smart.
Street smart.
Yeah, street smart. Yeah, exactly. She was always trying to find some form of work, but she was always getting fired from work because she was a jerk. Like, she would threaten to kill, customers and employers. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's...
She should have worked for, disgruntled postal work.
Yeah, something.
Wow.
So she was also, they said she had a little bit of paranoia, too. Like, her boss, one time her boss was trying to teach her how to bake properly. He's like, no, you're doing it wrong, let me teach you. And so she took him to court saying, oh, he's assaulting me. And then she tried to have two little boys arrested they were aiming their toy pistols at her in the street. And so she was kind of, there's something loose there. I mean, I don't want anyone aiming fake pistols at me either, but we're in different times here.
Yeah, but don't take them to court for it.
No, right, yeah.
So anger management and paranoia.
Right, yeah.
There you go, my kind of girl.
Yeah,
all right.
She needs some help.
She's a barrel of monkeys. All right.
So she was married for the first time at the age of 15, which is...
there you go.
Yeah. This guy named Ketspol Brown. And not long into the relationship, both of them realized that they both wanted to kill each other. But
that could be a problem.
Yeah, but Mr. Brown was like, no, she is going to kill me. Like, she means it. She's going to kill me. Strangely, typhoid fever got him first. So she did not get a chance to kill her first husband.
Oh, that's disappointing.
She had 3 more husbands very quickly. And she tried to kill at least one of them by poisoning his cup of tea.
Wow.
Like, girlfriend.
Wow.
She's got problems.
Well, but yet they marry her.
Yeah, they keep marrying her. Like, she's married 5 times, I think.
Where's the other guy? Oh, he's on vacation.
Yeah. It's like, what happened to your other husband, honey?
Oh, nothing. You look tired. You may want to take a nap.
Yeah.
You look tired. Wow.
So by the time she got to her 5th husband, he apparently frightened her by admitting that he had beaten his previous wife to death. So she decided to get out of town. Like, she's like, okay, I'm out of here. So she leaves New York and goes to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Where, surprisingly, she was able to set up a store. And she bought insurance on that store and then immediately proceeded to burn it down.
There you go.
To get the insurance money.
There you go.
But she took a small portion of Philly with her. Like a bunch of other houses burnt down, too. So, she was sent to Eastern State Penitentiary.
Arsonist. We're adding arsonist to the list
Arson,
of...
attempted murder so far. This is...
anger management, paranoia.
20 years old. Like, she's on a run right now. So after spending some time in Eastern State Penitentiary, they realized this girl is insane. She needs to go to an asylum to get proper care. Right? Okay. So they send her to an asylum. She goes to the asylum. She's apparently well behaved, and they're like, "Okay, she's cured," and they send her out.
Oh, there you go. She's all better now.
She's not causing any trouble in the asylum
she's
or
so
in bars
sweet.
and stuff.
Yeah, she's all good now.
So then she goes up to New York. Now she's coming back to our neck of the woods.
Just what we need.
To raise hell. Yeah, like we got enough crazy people around here.
Seriously.
We don't need it anymore.
I wonder if she was in my classroom. I don't know. Must have taught her.
I hope not.
I don't know. You never know.
So anyway, she goes to Newburgh, right? Just down the river from us.
Right.
Newburgh. She's looking for work, and she meets this old Civil War veteran named Paul Halliday. Right?
Okay.
And Paul Halliday is looking for domestic help. So,
someone to clean, not burn?
To clean, yeah.
No, not to burn the place.
Don't burn the place.
You know, then there's nothing to clean.
Right.
Okay.
Luckily, he didn't ask for a resume. Mistake number one. So, Lizzie told him that she had literally just gotten off the boat from Ireland. Which is a lot better than saying, well, I just did time at Eastern State for burning down part of Philadelphia.
I just flew the nest. I just flew the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah.
And boy, are my arms tired.
So she went with him to his little farm up in Sullivan County. Right, so now we're heading up the river to Sullivan County.
Gotcha.
And she's working with him for a while, but he decides, all right, it'd be much cheaper. I didn't have to, if I marry her, I don't have to pay her. So
he thinks.
So mistake number 2, he marries her. Bad idea. Now on this farm also lived his mentally disabled son. Right,
okay.
He had a lot of kids from a previous marriage. They're all older and moved on and married and stuff, except for the one son who's disabled.
Got to stay at home.
He's living at home, yeah. So one day, Paul goes off to work. This is May of 1891.
Okay.
He goes off to work.
Leaves home with the kid.
Leaves home with Lizzie
Oh,
and the kid.
okay.
Comes back. His house is on fire. She's standing outside of it.
Roasting marshmallows.
Yeah, she's like, hi, honey. You're home early.
How was your day?
So, meanwhile, she's like, I could just barely get out of this place.
Junior didn't make it.
Junior didn't make it.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
oh my.
Yeah, I know. It's just
wow.
Wild.
What? You can't make this stuff up?
No.
Sorry.
So, poor Paul, he's like, oh, that's a bummer, honey. Well, I'm glad you made it out, right?
Seriously?
Yeah. Meanwhile, his older children are like, Dad, there's something fishy about this. Like,
do you not see?
We don't think that. No, there's some foul play here, Dad.
You don't see what's going on?
Yeah, but he didn't see it.
He didn't. Of course not.
So the older kids actually brought in the police, but they didn't find any evidence of any
arson.
Yeah. Well, arson or foul play. But granted, I mean, this is like 1890s. Middle of nowhere, Sullivan County. This is not exactly Scotland Yard detectives here, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, nope, we don't see the problem here. Okay,
it's all good. Oh well, sorry.
Sorry for your loss, you know.
Oh, so did she collect on the insurance money then too?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know that he really had insurance on it. I mean, maybe he did, but
or on the kid.
I don't know. I didn't find any. I didn't find that. That'd be interesting.
So now she's just burning for burning.
She's burning shit and killing people.
She's just no money.
Worse.
Oh, it gets worse.
It gets
okay. I'm glad I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So later she's charged with stealing horses with a gang of gypsies. So she like runs off for a hot second, joins this gang of
roving gypsies
Yeah.
in Sullivan County.
In Sullivan County.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Who knew?
At the trial, she's screaming, she's ripping her dress, she's punching the jailers. I mean, she's a real charmer.
Sounds great.
So in 1893, they sent her to a nearby asylum. So once again she's going to an asylum.
Alrighty.
When she gets better, they release her, and Paul's like, come on back home, honey. Like, oh, Paul.
Just keep the matches away. He's like, oh, that's okay. We just won't leave the matches lying around.
Yeah.
Don't leave you with any of my children. So she gets released the second time from a sanitarium.
So she's
because she's cured again.
Goes back home to Paul, and then 4 months later...
Burns what?
No.
Oh.
Mr. Halliday goes missing. He's totally missing. Lizzie claimed that he went away for work.
Joined the gypsies.
Joined the gypsies. He went away, and he must be...
I haven't seen him since.
She's like, I don't know where he went.
I don't know.
So his kids are like, that's fucking bullshit. So his kids are like, something's fishy here. Right?
You think?
So the kids are like, we got to bring in the cops. So the police come. They come to the farm. They begin to search. But before they find Mr. Halliday, they find 2 other bodies. 2 women.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were identified as Margaret McQuillan and her 19-year-old daughter, Sarah Jane McQuillan.
Oh.
About a week before the bodies had been discovered, Margaret had received a visit from a woman who claimed to be Mrs. Smith. And Mrs. Smith needed extra hands on her farm to help her out.
Of course you did.
So Margaret agreed to help. So she goes with Mrs. Smith to this farm. 2 days later, Mrs. Smith comes back to the McQuillan farm and says, "Oh no, Margaret has taken a fall off a ladder. I need your help. You got to come." And
her daughter.
Yeah, she's like, she needs her daughter right now.
Yeah,
so,
you got to come to Mom.
Yeah, so Sarah Jane's like, okay, so she comes along, right? A couple of days go by, and Mr. McQuillan, the husband, is starting to realize, my girls aren't
Everybody's
coming back.
gone?
Yeah. And then he then quickly realizes that this Mrs. Smith is a fake name, first of all, and that his wife and daughter, the address that she gave for their farm is fake. Totally fake.
Okay.
So now he's like, I don't know where my people are. So, sadly...
Poor guy.
Yeah. Mr. McQuillan learned that his wife and daughter had been fooled into a trap and that both of them had been shot through the chest several times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
The two women were found in a hay pile out in the barn at the Halliday farm. And at this point, witnesses were beginning to notice how squirrely Lizzie Halliday was in all the police.
So glad she's cured.
Yeah.
Yeah, released twice.
Yeah.
Mental health system, but she's good now.
Yeah, so, well, she's hanging out while they were, like, looking at the bodies of these women, and they're like, what's going on?
Then.
So she's freaking out. So
they were there when I got here. I don't know.
I don't know. You're going to have to ask my husband if you can find them.
She fell on my gun.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, several times. So she was brought in for questioning by police, right?
Okay.
While they continue to search the Halliday farm, right? So they're looking around. Two men notice the kitchen floorboards don't look right.
A little creaky?
Yeah. So they lift them up. Underneath, they notice that the ground under the house had looked freshly dug.
Ah.
Right? So they begin to prod around, and soon they find the badly decomposed remains of Mr. Halliday.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah.
They found them. All right.
So, he had been shot multiple times in the chest and was struck hard in the head, so hard that his left eye was knocked out of its socket.
Oh,
Yeah. On September 8th, 1893, Lizzie went to jail in Monticello, where she was she put on quite a show, screaming, swearing, just like screaming and so loud that the people outside the jail could hear her, and they were like, what the fuck is going on with this woman?
anger management.
Yeah.
But she's cured.
Yeah,
I like the way that the mental health said she's free to go.
She's fine.
And
yeah, totally.
not a menace to society.
Yeah,
just be on your way.
Yeah.
Good luck. Don't play with matches.
Right,
Just go ahead. Alrighty then.
So, in October of 1893, a very famous reporter by the name of Nellie Bly.
Ah,
right?
yes.
She's like, she talks her way into the jail to get a interview with this woman, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Brave.
So, yeah, Nellie Bly, she's the one who's
Badass.
got,
yeah.
time, a whole bunch
Bedlam.
of time. And,
Bedlam. Yeah. She's not afraid of anything.
No. She's like, I will interview this bitch and get the story out of her.
Okay.
Right. So she made her way into the jail in Monticello to see Lizzie. When she first entered the cell, she noticed the look and feel of the place, with lots of newspaper clippings and drawings of beautiful women all over the place. Like we were saying, this Lizzie isn't terribly beautiful, but she's covered the walls
with cosmopolitan, makeup and
so very weird.
Okay.
So Nellie tried to break down Lizzie's condition and determine if she was really insane or just cold-blooded. Like, is this bitch just, does she like doing this stuff, or is there something in her head that's like what's going on?
Okay.
So she sat in the cell with her and tried to get any information that she could, but quickly determined that, quote, she looked at me with what was meant to be a stupid expression, but the cool, cunning gleam of her small pig eyes betrayed the workings of her remarkably shrewd brain. That's what
I don't even know what that means.
I guess she's
not stupid.
She's a good actress.
Yeah.
That's what
she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
She's coherent.
Yeah.
She's not crazy.
Yeah.
No, because
this is something she likes to do.
This is a hobby.
Yeah.
Burning and shooting.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, okay. So, the press drawings that I've come across in this, the newspapers ate this stuff up. Like, she was in every newspaper, like all over the country.
A sensation.
Like, it was huge. They loved it. This was a wild case that was simply unheard of. Like,
for a woman, especially.
Yeah. So a female killer. They were even calling her the female Jack the Ripper. For a while there.
Wow.
So she played the insanity game a bit too hard with screaming and kicking and why is my phone ringing?
Someone's
Sorry. Why is everyone trying to?
It's not me. I'm not calling
It's not
you.
you. No.
Okay.
No, I know.
All right.
All right. So she's playing the insanity game really, really, really hard. She's kicking. She even tried to strangle the wife of Sheriff Beecher of Sullivan County.
You know, nothing says innocence that I'm not a murderer, like trying to strangle someone in the courtroom.
Right, yeah.
Because
right.
how else to prove your innocence?
Yeah,
right.
right.
I totally would buy that.
Rigged,
right? I totally would buy that.
But, okay, so I don't think nobody was buying this, actually. They found 2 .38 caliber pistols on the farm, which were clearly the murder weapons, right? She actually sat in jail for almost a year before her trial began.
Yeah.
So now we're in the summer of 1894, and it was, this just spectacle. Like, just...
I can imagine.
I mean, it was crazy. She was said to have torn her dress off again. Like, she had done this before. Tearing her dress off in court. Nodding back and forth, like, just like, like, just being weird. She would scream and kick at the guards again. This is like a...
Quite demure little lady. Yeah.
I mean, whew. So all sorts of things she was hoping to make her sound insane, but it's not working. No. So there was enough evidence to show that she had thought this through.
Right.
And also that she was strong enough to commit these crimes, right? Unlike your lady.
Oh, yeah, no. That worked in my girl's favor.
Yeah. So, like, this girl, she's big and
she's strong.
She could take him down.
She's strong.
So she was found guilty and actually sentenced on June 22nd, 1894, to die by the electric chair.
Okay.
Right? However, Roswell P. Flower, governor of New York at the time, decided that execution was too harsh.
Okay.
So he believed that her mind was unsound and that she should actually just spend the rest of her life in prison. It wasn't fair. Right?
Okay.
So she was shipped off to Mattawa State Hospital for the criminally insane in Beacon. Right? Now we're on our side of the river.
Okay.
So, Dutchess County, here we are. This is where she will commit her final murder.
Oh, she's not done.
She's not done.
The fact that she's convicted and escapes the electric chair and is in jail and in a mental home. So she's still got some killing left.
She got one more kill.
Oh, alrighty then.
All right. So, it was quite a shock because Lizzie was considered a model prisoner when she was at Mattawa.
Isn't that what they said about the mental hospital?
Yeah.
That she's always like a good girl.
Yeah, they're like, oh, she's fine. Yeah. So she never caused any trouble. She was well liked by the female guards. Right. They called them nurses, but they would be considered modern correction officers today.
Correctional. Yeah.
So you got these women officers, nurses in the jail with these ladies, and so she's hanging out, and she actually had befriended one of the female guards, one of the female nurses.
Okay.
Her name was Nellie. Let's see. What's her last name? I know I put her last name.
It's not Smith.
No. Nellie Wicks. Okay. So Lizzie had befriended Nellie Wicks, a 21-year-old security guard. When Nellie informed Lizzie that she was actually going to be leaving the prison because she had found another job, Lizzie something cracked in her, and she was just like, "No, you can't leave." So she was mad, right? So like on Nellie's last day, Lizzie waited until she could kind of get her alone in like a bathroom, closed the door.
No.
She locked the door with the lock and then pulled she locked the door, leaving the key in the lock so it'd be harder to unlock from the outside. Then she had taken a pair of scissors.
Oh, gee.
And stabbed Nellie in the face and chest.
How does a crazy person get a hold of scissors?
Good question. They were actually letting the prisoners work on sewing projects at this time.
There you go.
So, yeah. So she
didn't want the guard to leave her.
Right. So
she
she's
killed
like,
her.
I'm going to kill her. So Nellie's screams for help were heard, but it took some time for the attendants to get into that room because she had
jammed
left the key
it. She jammed the lock.
So they couldn't get to her in time. And once again, it was determined that Lizzie's insane behavior, in this case, her insane attachment to poor Nellie Hicks, was the reasoning for this terrible crime. So the poor Nellie, she died within 2 hours of the brutal attack. Like she kept bled out essentially.
Sure.
However, Lizzie would continue to live out her days in the asylum. But they're like, you know what? What are we gonna do? Like we can't.
They never thought of going back and executing her.
No, they did not.
Just let her go.
Like, no.
Let her go.
Nellie is considered to be the first female law enforcement officer to die in service. So
that's terrible.
Lizzie would continue in the asylum until June 27th, 1918, when she died of Bright's disease at the age of 59. And she's buried in the prison cemetery because no one wanted her remains.
Yeah.
Hey, who would have thought?
You would think, in spite of all of that, with her premeditation and everything, they would have had her. I guess they weren't quick to execute women.
I guess not. Well, that's not necessarily true because one of the first executions took place for a woman right here in Poughkeepsie. That was in the 1840s.
Oh, wow.
Hold on.
Wow.
Let me get my date right on her.
She must have been a winner.
So that actually, no, that was in 1850. Yeah, no, that's you're going to have to come and check out my Dutchess County Murders talk.
Oh, I'm there.
Yeah,
okay.
That's going to be a big one. And then we're going to talk all about her, 1852. Yep.
Because even now, they don't view women, pedophiles as men. It's just, women do get, I don't want to say get a pass, but they don't get the same level that men get.
It's true,
that little girl.
This woman in the 1850s, Lucy Ann Hogue was her name. And she was, I think, the fourth woman to be executed in New York State history.
Really?
And yeah, she was hanged inside the Dutchess County Courthouse.
So she must have had it coming, but yet they didn't feel Lizzie killed enough people or went crazy enough to face. Okay, because she was healed.
Only killed one person.
The one they hung killed one person. This one killed the battery, and they let her go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I guess it depends on what governor is in charge at the time,
Yeah.
Because the governor in Lucy Ann Hogue's case was like, "Oh,
she's done. She's done. We're done with her."
Yeah. So I guess it depends on.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You don't hear more about her. I mean, I've heard the name. I wasn't familiar with her.
Yeah, it's fascinating, right?
Creepy lady.
I know.
Glad she's dead.
We're glad.
Yay! She's gone.
So you're a Lizzie. Let's. I
have a Lizzie too.
Yay.
Okay. Lizzie Borden took an axe. We know the nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
Gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. You would talk. The term is patricide, I believe. Patricide and matricide, killing of your parents.
Yep.
Killing of your parents.
Ouch.
I heard this nursery rhyme. Lizzie is not what I would call one of my favorite dead people because she was a hero or contributed anything of value to society.
No contributing.
There's nothing she contributed at all. However, she's probably, again, like your Lizzie, one of the first serial killers, certainly one of the first women questioned as a multiple murderer.
Yeah. Okay,
women did get a pass. And her life is shrouded in mystery and death. What better person to talk about pre-Halloween, right?
Perfect, yeah.
Okay, want to hear a joke?
With
a hatchet through my head. I wore my hatchet just for you today,
I
Shannon.
love it.
Want to hear a joke?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear the one about the guy found floating in a bathtub full of milk with a banana stuck in his ear?
No.
Police suspect a serial killer. Groan, but I'm bumped. Okay. Anyway, moving right along. Okay. Sorry, I apologize.
No, I love the jokes.
Okay.
The dad jokes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a dad joke. Lizzie Andrew Borden was born July 19th, 1860 in Fall River, Massachusetts, to Sarah Anthony Borden and Andrew Jackson Borden. She had an older sister named Emma. She lived her whole life in Fall River. Died June 1st, 1927 at 66 years old from pneumonia right before Emma. They predeceased each other by a few days.
Okay.
All right. Now, her father Andrew came from very modest beginnings, from an English and Welsh household. He prospered in casket and furniture sales. Yeah, I know, foreshadowing. Well, I guess you're never out of a job with that.
Yeah,
people are dying for your business.
Did he pre-make his own casket?
If he would have known, you would think, right?
Yeah.
He became a successful property developer. He owned several textile mills.
Okay.
His estimated estate value was about $300,000, which in 2022 is the equivalent of $9,630,000.
He was doing
Not too shabby, right?
Yeah.
Not too shabby. But despite his wealth, he was a cheap SOB. Didn't live in the most fashionable or upscale part of the neighborhood. In fact, the Borden home did lack indoor plumbing.
Oh, just like your house.
Just like my house. We crap in a box with the cat because we went with cable and Netflix rather than indoor plumbing. Yeah. Apparently, so did Mr. Borden.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, we do. We have Netflix. Yeah, we do.
No, him.
Oh, he had Netflix. He had Netflix. Yeah, he did. That was pretty cool, right?
The 19th century version
You
of
know,
Netflix.
he was an innovator. 3 years after her mother Sarah died, Dad married Abby Gray. Imagine that. 3 years after. Lizzie and her stepmother, they had a cordial relationship, although she called her mother Mrs. Borden. Okay, that's how cordial it was. She was referred to as Mrs. Borden. Lizzie and Emma rarely ate meals with her parents, according to Maggie Sullivan, their live-in Irish maid. Okay. Not a close family. Lizzie believed her stepmother actually married her father for his money. I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing. Okay, we know. So, yeah, all right. Lizzie and Emma had a pretty religious upbringing. Okay. Lizzie was a Sunday school teacher, like me.
Oh,
yeah,
perfect.
I know, right? We have a lot in common. Me and Lizzie got a lot in common, which is probably scary if you think about it.
A little bit.
A little. She taught children of recent immigrants to the U.S., and she was very involved in her church.
Okay.
Refined,
all right.
Upscale, little girl going to church. So far, so good. Everything's right?
Yeah.
Nice. There was tension in the Borden house right before the murders. Lizzie's dad had gifted real expensive real estate to Abby's family. Didn't sit so good with Emma and Lizzie, gifting expensive. Yeah, why did she get that house, right? We don't live in a nice neighborhood, right?
Oh, okay.
There was an argument. The girls took extended vacations. They didn't want to come back. Lizzie actually stayed in a local rooming house a few days before coming home to the family. There was that tension. Okay. Oh. Now, Lizzie's uncle, her mom, her original mom's brother, John Morse, came for a visit, was doing business with Andrew.
Okay.
Also, the family got very, very deadly ill for several days, violently ill in the household.
Whoa.
Yeah, they had stomach problems, and they were all deathly ill.
Somebody poisoning the oysters?
There you go. Family friends said it was spoiled mutton. When you leave the mutton out too long, it gets, I always, I say cook the mutton right away.
Yeah.
Don't leave it out. Right. Abby thought it was poison because, here we go, Andrew had a lot of enemies.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He wasn't very popular at home, and he wasn't popular in business. He had if you think he's cheap and he won't give indoor plumbing, you can imagine how he treated the workers. He had a lot of shady stuff going out. He wasn't popular. Okay. He wasn't, On the day of the murders, August 4th, 1892, Abby goes upstairs to make a bed. She's facing the killer, according to forensics. So she turns around, she comes face to face with the murderer. The murderer strikes her in the head, on the side of her head, with a hatchet.
Ow.
Down she goes. Timber. She falls face down.
Okay.
Not enough. The murderer continues 17 more blows to the back of her head, killing her in cold blood. 17.
That is a lot.
You would think 2, 3 being that she's already face down.
Yeah.
No, she makes sure she's good and dead.
That's a
lot of blows.
That's a lot of blows.
Heavy.
You have to have strength.
You have to have with a heavy hatchet, a lot of continuous blowing. You got to bulk. I don't know.
Reps there.
I don't know how much. I don't know. Hatchets may not have been that. I don't chop
They're
wood.
heavy. Yeah.
Well, if you're angry and the adrenaline's going, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So no, Andrew comes home.
All right.
It's all quiet. Apparently nobody hears the stepmother bleeding, screaming. Well, they're not going to hear her bleed, but screaming, help me.
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because Maggie the maid is asleep. She's resting in the room. She testified that she was resting, and she only woke up when she heard Lizzie screaming, come quick, someone killed my dad. So Dad comes home, lays out on the couch upstairs. He's going to take a rest, all right?
Okay.
Andrew was struck 10, 11 times to the head, with also a hatchet-like weapon. So much.
11 times? No, so not
10, 11
41,
times. Not 41. That's
okay.
an exaggeration,
Okay.
because nothing rhymes with 11, I guess. One eye was split in two, indicating that he was sleeping when he was attacked, according to forensics. So he didn't put up a fight because he was. By the time he opened his eye, that was it. He's laying there asleep. Okay.
Okay.
So now Lizzie, gets questions, contradicting. Oh, I heard a noise. No, I didn't. No, I was in the barn. No, I was upstairs. No, I was downstairs. No, I don't remember where I was. I'm so upset.
Okay.
So she was a little conflicting. Okay. The officers also said not only was she conflicting, her attitude was very calm and composed initially for a woman who walked in and found 2 dead people in her house. She was pretty, a little confused, but pretty cold. She changed her alibis and all that. Okay, we did that. All right.
Okay.
So despite all that, they never seemed to check for blood stains on
Lizzie.
her.
Okay.
They barely checked the house because Lizzie, again, didn't feel good. Her stomach was bothering her, and she needed to lay down and take a Midol, and she wasn't feeling good, so they didn't check the whole house.
Okay.
They did, however, they checked the basement, because everybody goes down in the basement, right?
Sure, that's the creepy part.
That's
of the
where I
house.
would go.
Yeah.
They found, get this, 2 hatchets, 2 axes, and a hatchet head with a broken handle in the basement.
Were these things covered in blood?
Well, they thought the hatchet head was the murder weapon because the break in the handle was fresh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And there was fresh ash and dust on the handle that looked like it had been applied recently. Didn't look like the rest of the stuff that had been in the basement for a while. It looked newer. Okay? Yeah. No blood.
Huh.
So, riddle me this. Because of the mysterious illness, remember when they were all sick?
Sure, yeah.
Andrew and Abby's stomachs were removed during the autopsies.
Okay.
The autopsies were performed in the Borden's dining room.
Ew.
Okay? Tested for poison, removed. No poison was found. Nothing was found. So apparently the mutton was really bad.
Okay.
So, but they did this in the dining room. Apparently, before I don't know, they didn't take the coroner. They removed the stomach in the middle of the dining room.
Future Thanksgiving meals there will be tricky.
You know, but neighbors had also said Lizzie had bought hydrosonic acid in diluted form, of course.
Okay.
Lizzie, did you buy that? Uh-huh. Why did you buy that, honey? Well, I needed it to clean my furs. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But none of it was found in the stomachs of the parents, but who knows?
Okay.
You know, this is before. I don't know what they did back then, and you would think they would know if there was acid in the stomach.
Right.
Or bad mutton. You would think they would be able to tell the difference.
I would think so.
No acid.
Okay.
So they stationed police around the house, because again, it's a sensation, right?
Sure,
There's
yeah.
murders in the house, right?
Yeah.
The officers occasionally peek in the windows. Oh, yeah, I happened to see Lizzie go down the basement. Oh, yeah, what was she doing? Washing something in the sink.
Oh.
Could it have been a dress? I don't know. Her hand, something with the scrub board in the sink. Yeah, and then, pretty much walking around the house. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Good. Yeah, there you go, Sherlock. All right. On August 6th, police finally went ding, 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 and they finally got a better search of the house. They finally took the broken handle of the hatchet head and said, Lizzie, guess what? You're a suspect. Don't go nowhere. All right? We're suspecting you. Moi? Like Miss Piggy.
Really?
Moi? But I am the victim here. Okay. So her friend Alice came and stayed with her and Emma. Emma was away during the murders, but she came back immediately away. Their friend Alice was like, I got to stay with my buds. Look what they went through. Yeah. They go down in the basement. Alice goes down in the basement, again in the basement. Lizzie, what you doing? I'm just ripping up my dress down here. Oh, you're just ripping up your dress? Why are you ripping up your dress?
Why? Yeah.
I got wet paint on it, and the dress is pretty damaged, so I'm just going to rip it up and throw it in the fire. Okay.
What color is this paint? Red.
Could be. So it was never established. Was that the dress she was wearing on the day of the murders?
Interesting.
We don't know.
Okay.
Now, the hearing is on August 8th. She's very erratic. She refuses to answer questions, even questions that would exonerate her.
Okay.
She's just like all over the place.
Yeah.
On August 11th, she was served with a warrant and finally jailed. Okay. Now a grand jury begins hearing evidence on November 7th, and Lizzie was indicted. Now we're up to December 2nd. Now after December 2nd, we're up another 6 months. The trial first begins June 5th, 1893.
Okay.
Finally. So during the autopsy, not only did they take out the stomachs on the table, they decapitated the 2 parents. And they bring in the heads that were removed. The skulls were admitted as evidence during the trial and presented to court on June 5th.
Oh, to show marks on
to show the skulls, okay. The decapitated skulls were admitted as evidence.
Okay.
So even as bad as she must have been, when you faint, these are the skulls of your parents with the hatchet marks and the eyeballs gone. And can you imagine?
That would freak me out.
That would freak out anybody.
Yeah.
So an hour and a half deliberation. Yes, a whole hour and a half. Not even enough time to watch a Netflix movie.
Right.
Lizzie was acquitted of the murder of her parents.
Wow. She had a good lawyer.
That too. Although acquitted, she remained the major suspect. Okay, but she was acquitted. How could a little girl, 5'1", 5'2", she was itty bitty, little Sunday school teacher. Yeah. How could that little girl possibly hack up her folks? She didn't have the strength. She didn't have the will. She didn't have the motive. There's no way that little girl.
Those 19th century steroids.
Again. So she's the prime suspect. They were
Yeah.
like, well, we can't find her guilty, but, like OJ. OJ didn't do it, but if he didn't do it, who did?
Right.
And if Lizzie didn't kill her parents,
So who
they
did?
killed each
Yeah.
other?
Yeah.
It was a duel? Okay.
In 2 different rooms?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Other things came out. It was tossed around. She was sexually and physically abused by her dad. And that's what drove her to kill him. But those things weren't spoken about. Incest was never discussed.
Right.
They didn't have the way of collecting physical evidence back then anyway. But I've heard that had been tossed around.
Okay.
It suggested that other than money, her motive was that, okay, remember Maggie the maid?
Yes.
She was romantically involved with Maggie the maid.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't you know that? Okay,
No,
sure.
I did not.
And when Abby found out, Abby confronted her with it, and she went in a rage and she killed Abby.
Okay.
This was another theory, and
Like,
then
I won't have any lesbians into my house.
that's right.
Yeah.
She's a maid. She's a woman. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so then she tells Andrew. When Andrew comes home, she goes, "Look, Mrs. Borden confronted me with it, and she overreacted. And he overreacted too, and took a nap, and she killed him as well."
Interesting.
Okay. Lizzie had been rumored to be gay,
Okay.
but both she and Emma never got married.
Okay.
Okay, so who knows? Maggie subsequently went on to find employment, did marry a dude, allegedly gave a deathbed confession to her sister,
Oh.
that when she was on the stand, she deliberately changed her testimony in order to protect Lizzie.
Ooh.
Deathbed confession. This is what I changed some things around.
Interesting. What did maybe just Lizzie promised her some money. Like, I will give you money.
Or promised to run away with her, or promised her
That's
whatever.
Huh.
Or she just really cared about her and she protected her on the stand.
Aw.
That she lied on the stand thinking they'd live happily ever after.
Murdering lovers.
Isn't that romantic?
I know.
That was on a Hallmark card. Now the uncle, remember him?
Yes.
Uncle
Okay.
John Morse, the mother, the dead mother. Well, they're all dead.
Yeah.
The birth mother's brother that
Yes.
was there doing
Was doing
business
business,
because
yeah.
he was around.
Yeah.
He had an airtight and overly detailed alibi because originally he was considered a suspect.
Okay.
No, I was with the bartender who had green eyes and was right-handed, had a watch, had a he was like way too airtight that they let him go.
Okay.
Now,
Was he strong? Was he a big guy?
bigger than her, but I mean, average size guy. But
Yeah.
you talk about motive here with the money floating around.
Yeah.
You don't know.
So who ends up with the money?
So okay,
Okay.
I'm glad you asked.
Okay. Good.
After the trial, Lizzie and Emma stayed in Fall River, although they were ostracized by
Sure.
Fall River Society.
Yeah.
Okay, no more fancy tea parties for her.
No more
Okay.
teaching Sunday school.
No more teaching Sunday school, but hopefully she installed a commode inside the house.
I
Okay.
hope so. Yeah.
Because Abby died before Andrew, her estate goes to Andrew, and then on Andrew's death, the money goes to the girls. So
Okay.
so Lizzie and Emma collect heavily. Okay.
I bet they do.
Worth at that time $250,000. Today's equivalent of over $5 million. So
I mean,
Lizzie
hey.
Lizzie and Emma made out on it.
Why did they say if I wouldn't have stayed in Fall River? I'd be like, peace out.
She stayed, I think, just to show up everybody. Like, oh yeah, you'll ostracize me. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'm going to stay here and be a reminder. I'll show you. You're not getting rid of me.
Yeah.
This isn't the last you've seen of me. She stood her ground.
I mean, it's a nice house. I drove past it by accident. I was like, look at that house.
Well, we should go there because it's an Airbnb.
I know. Yeah.
We can sleep in the bed where she hacked up her mother. No, but yeah, that's the same look. My family said we're not going.
I mean, I would go just to walk inside and go, okay, neat.
It's a museum.
Cool.
They have
Yeah.
things from the trial.
Yeah.
They have hatchet heads. I would totally sleep
Spend
in
the
the
night.
house and see what happens.
You got bigger balls than I got.
I'm ready. Nobody wants to go with me. So I'm got to go myself.
I'll go with you. You can stay.
You
I'll be in
check
the Holiday
in.
Inn down the street.
You check in and leave me there, and then in the morning, if I'm around, I'll come out and we'll have breakfast.
All right, good.
So that's it. Her story has been created and recreated.
Yeah.
Movies have made, you hear that nursery rhyme, it became a jump rope thing, Lizzie, but,
Right.
it became a thing. She links the past to the present. She's a legend, a popular American cult figure, goes down in history as maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Just like OJ. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. If she did, she got off.
Yeah.
She got away with it, and that's why she's one of my favorite dead people.
All right.
So there.
Nice. I love it.
The dead Lizzies.
The
The
dead
dead
Lizzies.
murdering Lizzies.
Yeah.
Or the questionable.
Question. Well, mine was definitely not.
Yours
but
was
mine
yours
like-
yours was out
Nope.
there. Mine was did she or didn't she?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
No, mine definitely.
If you dig up I don't know, can they exhume the stepmother and see if Lizzie's DNA is? I mean, I don't know how that works now.
Yeah.
I don't know, their moratoriums, but She got away with it. My personal view, if she didn't do it, she knew who did do it. She let him in. You know, because she was, Maggie was sleeping and the sister was out of town and I was in the barn and somebody just comes in and hacks her and then hacks him and nobody hears, nobody sees.
I wonder about Maggie.
You know.
What did Maggie do? Like,
Maggie was in the room resting. She didn't hear.
Those of you who can't see, I've got the quotation.
She's doing the fingers.
Yeah.
Maggie, you think she did it?
I mean, I don't. I'm wondering if it was a tag team thing.
One did. I'll do mom, you do dad. Yeah.
You know, like,
you never know. You never know. Nothing surprises me, but you know, or she put the uncle. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah. No,
and you never will. Yeah. You never will. At least your girl, we know.
We know.
It's open and shut. With Lizzie, for you to decide, dear listener. You decide.
Yes, dear listeners, decide. Wow. Well, this is fun.
That was fun.
All right. Well, folks, there you have it. The conversation of Lizzies and murdering and
young girls murdering people.
Yeah. I mean, just like
Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
Different version.
Girls Gone Wild, the dead version.
Yeah, the murdering version. That's something you won't see on Netflix.
Great.
There you go.
Well, thank you for anyone out there listening. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of All My Favorite People Are Dead. Thank you, Sue.
My pleasure.
For being a part of this.
My pleasure.
We'll have you again.
We'll do it again.
Again and again and again.
All right. It's a deal. All righty. See ya.
All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. I say it all.